everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Ian is a Weirdo. So, today I am on the last row, literally just started the last row of a lesbian pride witchy hat. I finished my rainbow one, and I am finishing the lesbian pride color one now. And then I'm going to be thinking of some other projects that I want to do. I have this one idea that I've been toying around with, but logistically, I'm not sure how I want to do it just yet. So, yeah, thinking about a couple different ways to do things. So, if you want to come hang out with me, please feel free. That totally rhymes. And right now, I am doing the border stitch for this hat, which is the reverse single crochet or the crab stitch. It's a pretty simple stitch, but it still hurts my wrist a lot to do it, so I continue to complain about it. But it does give a really nice look to the finished product, and so I think it was a perfect addition by the pattern creator to add this to the border. It adds a little bit of rigidity to the edge so it stays a little bit firmer, and it looks good. So the one thing that's slightly annoying about these witch hats is that I can get through an entire witch hat with one ball of the one skein of the Big Twist living yarn, with the exception of the last row and a half, and I can't finish it at that point. I have to get another ball and start, which I find so annoying. But it just is what it is. So both hats that I've made, I've had to go in and have an extra skein. Now, when I did this hat with the Big Twist, it was the Halloween yarn. I was able to use just that yarn. I didn't have to get an extra skein, so it might just be that these are the fact that these are slightly smaller. These have approximately 199 yards, so maybe there's just more. There's just more yardage in the other scheme. I mean, that's kind of the only explanation, right? Anyways, I hope you had an excellent Wednesday. Happy hump day, if you will. And wait, is it Wednesday? No, it's Tuesday. Never mind. I hope you do have an excellent Wednesday. If it's not Wednesday already, where you're at. And I hope you had a good Tuesday. I had a pretty low. Well, actually, it wasn't a low key day. I was like, was it a low key? No, it wasn't. So I did my therapy in the morning, and then I started to hear a fire alarm go off in my building, and it sounded like it was coming from the apartment or one of the apartments above me. And, I know sometimes that fire alarms go off because, like something smoky, like, or something like fell off in like the oven and it's a little smoky or like whatever. So I waited, but the fire alarm still continued to go on. It went on for a little while. And so I went out to check what was going on. And so I'm kind of in the middle of my floor. And it's kind of like my apartment complex is kind of like a house setup ish. But so I'm in the middle, and in the room closest to the door is open, and it is completely smoky in there. Like probably like 50% visibility, like super smoky. It doesn't smell like any particular substance smoke, if you are catching my drift. It smells like just like burning. It smells like barbecue. Um, and so I am like, shit, there's a real fire. I did not see a fire, but like this is okay. We're in real fire territory here. So I have a cat carrier that I got to when I got my cat, and I'm like, okay, I got to get my cat the fuck out of here. Also myself out of here, but first I got to get my cat out of here. Hi, Lori, welcome in. So I got to get my cat out of here, and so I had taken apart the cat carrier, and it had some like screws that were used to combine the top and the bottom. So I had when I took them apart to make more room in my room, um, I had them in the same bag, and I had taped it to the side of the carrier. Um, Oh no, I'm sorry that I didn't get a chance to be on for longer, but that's just how it goes. Honestly, like isn't it? Like someone comes in, you're like, actually, I was heading right out the door. Catch you next time. So don't you no need to apologize to me. I wish I got there sooner, but hopefully I'll catch you earlier on the next one. That's what the next ones are for. Um, so I'm trying to find, but the bag that I taped to the inside of the carrier, the tape is there, the bag is not. So I'm like, where the fuck are these screws so that I can assemble very quickly a cat carrier to get my cat out of this apartment that may or may not be on fire. And I could not find them, and I'm like jumping around trying to find things. My apartment's still like a little bit of a mess because I moved in last week. And I was like, you know what? Like, I don't have time for this. I don't have time to assemble a cat carrier. Try to get a cat into a cat carrier, which that was a shit show when we tried to do that last time. I know I was like, I don't that early in the evening. Yeah. What I actually I don't know. I don't remember if I know this about you, but what time zone are you in? Because I am in Pacific, and so I've been there with the pack of screws. Yeah, exactly. Um, but at least I thought ahead to like tape them to the thing, but I think they had just slipped off in my laundry basket, which was underneath the crate. But I didn't even think to like look there at the time because I'm thinking this is an emergency. I got to get out of the house. Um, so but there is my cat has like a little like I think I've shown you on camera. It's kind of out of reach, and I don't want to stand up. A little kind of cat cave that's plush, but and so it has a hole in it that he can crawl into, but it also has a candle on top, which is really really convenient. When he first came in, he was comfortable in that, and I was able to move him to the bed, and so like that's been part of like his like introduction process to the rest of the apartment. So like I know he's comfortable in that. So what I did is I put him in there because he's been hiding under the sheets lately, and so I put him in there, and so that was not a problem. I can just put him right in there, and then I just like stuffed a towel in there so he couldn't escape, and then I took him outside and like put him in my car. Um, got moved in. had to evacuate from a fire with her cat to my house. I'm in Colorado. Oh no. Oh, I hope everything is okay with that. I I'm from I'm from uh the I'm from the South. I'm from North Carolina, and so fires aren't really a common aren't a common natural disaster that we face, especially not in the area that I grew up and lived in for the big part of my life, because we get a lot of rain. So it's, well, not like a ton, but we get a fair amount of rain. So usually the ground is moist enough that we're not going to experience that there. But living out in California for just, less than half a year and experiencing just kind of the unseasonable fires that happened here, um, a little while ago. Even though I'm very thankful that I was not part of it. I do know people. I have a couple degrees of separations of people who were impacted by it, and it is very, very sad. Um, but like, just fires are just wild. So I'm not in Mountain Time. I am in Pacific Time. Um, or are you saying you're in Mountain Time? Okay, I think I put together what you're saying. I was like, I was like, I don't think I'm in Mountain. Um, we have a fire season here. Apparently, there's fire season here too. You'll have to that in Cali. Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. My stepdaughter is in Pasadena and had to evacuate with that altitude. Oh yeah, yeah. It's it's crazy, and to see, what happened on already busy freeways and people evacuating, and also like the location of the fires and everything. I was in a place at the time where like we physically weren't in danger, like we had to be on alert just in case we would be, but there was a river separating us from one of the big fires. I forget what the name of that one was, but one of the fairly big ones, and not the one all the way out on the coast. And it one day it was particularly bad. So like 2 days before the fire started, it was very, very windy. Like the windiest day that I've experienced in LA. And then it was very windy, which probably uh, it was like the Santa Ana winds, um, that contributed to kind of the beginnings at the very least. And then one day when the fires were bad, it was raining like pieces like this of ash, and someone was like, "It's like being in Pompeii," and I like that visual was so strong in my mind. I was like, "Oh my gosh, it actually feels like that." Like it when you like now that you've said it, that's all I can think about. It's literally like being in Pompeii with just ash falling like that. It was wild. And because we had like a glass tabletop outside where people would smoke cigarettes, and you could wipe down the table, and within maybe 3 minutes, the table would be like completely covered in ash again. How much does the smoke affect you since you're not used to that, being from North Carolina? Well, I am a smoker, so I don't have like I don't treat my lungs well. um, I don't treat them well. I'm not kind to them. Um, Fortunately, I was not heavily impacted. Um, with breathing, but I do know a lot of people around me who do have breathing issues or breathing capacity issues. Did have to be a lot more mindful about you know taking it easy and being um, much more gentle themselves, and or we would just try to stay inside as much as possible to avoid the poor air quality. That was another big part of it. Um, you know, Los Angeles has a pretty established bus system with several different buses in it. There's the Metro and the Dash and the Big Blue Bus and all of that stuff. And a lot of those buses, either the lines were not running or the lines were rerouted specifically for the fires, or they were, fares were free so that people could evacuate via bus. Um, but I am, um, like I was technically west of downtown, but I still think it's East LA. I don't know. I don't really know. I'm still learning my neighborhoods. Um, but yeah, it was just a pretty wild experience. And then to also see that some people were causing those fires when it was so bad anyways. Like I wanted to just go on like a mission to, how do I say this? Um, punch people in the face. But every time I fire here, oh yeah, even gas. Yeah, if you have asthma, yeah, the people who had asthma in any degree definitely experience some uh, significant diminished significantly diminished lung capacity. Yeah, the arsonists were unbelievable, and, like, if someone had just told me that they were arsonists, I would have been like, "This is crazy, why would" I mean, LA is crazy and people are crazy here, but I saw videos of people doing it, and I'm like, "What the fuck is going on?" Like, this is so it doesn't make sense, like, make it make sense, but so I don't know if you caught the beginning. I'm doing the crab stitch. So also the also called the reverse single crochet around the edge. So it's going to provide a little bit of stability around the edge. These are the lesbian pride colors, and this is big twist. R.I.P. Joanne. But yeah. Even fires in Wyoming. I mean, yeah, I mean when winds and things pick up, I mean that stuff truly does carry. LA is a whole thing. It truly is. I honestly, I when people a lot of people from like my friends are like, "How's LA?" And I'm like, I don't have the vocabulary to describe what LA is like, because it's super cool and super weird, and the people are nice, but they're also very weird, and everything you've ever seen in a movie about LA is simultaneously true and completely the opposite. I used to I like I am getting better at doing it and getting my hand comfortable with it, but yeah, it's not the most comfortable position for my hand, definitely. Getting ready for work, wanted to say hello. Thank you, Daniel. It's good to see you. I hope you have a good day at work. It's truly all of the things. Yeah. It's just a weird place. It's just a weird place. There's so many cool things too, but then there's so many weird things, and yeah, it's definitely a one of a kind place. It is the cool kids club. Thank you. I don't know if I've ever been accused of being a cool kid before, but sure. Sure. Congratulations are in order for you, Amy. Congratulations on your new job position. I'm very happy for you. You are very deserving. You're going to go out there and you're going to save all the lives. And then you're going to come to LA and you're going to save more because boy, oh boy, is we got a problem here. I don't think that should surprise anybody in the world. So I'm finishing up the lesbian pride flag hat. It looks so weird before kind of positioning it into place, but this is with the big twist. Um, I thought this hat would be big with the lesbians. This style of hat would be big with the lesbians, so that's why I did this color next. And then after this, I'm probably the next time I do this hat, I'll do it with the non-binary one because I think that that would be yeah, there are a lot of chapters of it got real weird. It weird's not the word. Sad, sad. But yeah, I've been in LA since December. Been in California since October. Treatment, kind of like the that's just pretty much the summation of everything. Moved to moved to well, I came to California for treatment in October, and almost immediately people were like, are you gonna stay in California?" And I was like, "What a weird thing to start asking me right off the bat." Like, I've been to treatment in other places, and no one's like, "You gonna move here?" But right off the bat, people were asking me if I was gonna move to California, and it kind of never stopped. So, um, but I started wanting to like get back into makeup or keep doing makeup, and I was like, well, this would be the place to do it, because I kind of made my way up California, where I started in San Diego, went to Orange County, and then I was in Los Angeles. Um, so, um, so yeah, it's still. But I just like literally last week moved out into my own apartment. I had been living in sober living up until then, and I'm so glad to have my own space. Like, obviously, there's a lot of drawbacks. Well, not obviously, there's a lot of drawbacks. I'll just say living independently is its own thing, right? You have a friend currently in treatment in California. I might know the treatment center they're in, although there's a lot of treatment centers in California. Um, but which is good because it's needed. There are a lot of really great facilities, some less than great, but I mean, I think percentage wise or just in sheer number, there's a lot more options here because there need to be. So there's definitely a need. Yeah, my own place. I have a cat. He is very scared of everything. But we're just getting to know each other, so I'm hoping that he can learn to relax a little bit. He has been venturing out on his own a little bit more lately, which I like. Still hasn't really started eating food. he's he'll drink water by himself, but eating is something that he hasn't really done by himself. Um, Today I had to force feed him some wet food, which that's always super fun. Um, to try to get a cat to do anything that they don't want to do. Um, but he's very gentle. His name is Scotty. If you want to see what he looks like, you can see him on my Instagram. I got sent some baby pictures of his and the pictures of his Craigslist post on. I'll put those on my Instagram so you can see what he looks like. He is a all black Scottish fold, um, and his eyes are huge, like huge. And uh, I didn't realize this until someone said it, but someone was like, "He looks like a Muppet baby," and I was like, "Oh my gosh, he really, truly does look like." so like, so that's one of his little nicknames. But I renamed him Scotty, or I changed his name to Scotty to continue with my Star Trek animal naming conventions. So, yeah, I agree with all your tricks, Lori, but Scotty is not food motivated. He is the first animal I have ever had in my entire life who does not care about food. And like toys are, he's too scared to play with toys. He doesn't, yeah, he, and he, like, he's not food motivated at all. And even like the stuff that his prior family fed him. So what had happened was they had him for 2 years, and they had another cat, and this other cat bullied him like viciously for 2 freaking years, and they were gonna move into a house, and they're like, "You know what? We think that the bullying should end now," because it just wasn't getting any better, and so he's like, my cat has PTSD. Yes, Scottish Folds are so cute. Ooh, a mouse toy for a cat. Oh, nice. I will have to watch that. Yeah, I know some cats are good with, Star Trek Cats book. I don't have it, and I don't know if I've seen it. I would love to see that. I feel like it rings a bell, like it's tickling some part of my memory, but I don't really remember. Um, so so yeah, that rings a bell. Um, I like my prior cat Jean Luc. He could play with he could play with uh, yarn and not try to like eat the yarn and stuff like that, so it wasn't a problem. But I know some cats do try to like eat yarn and stuff like that. So or polyfill. So knowing your cat makes a difference. But honestly, I have not found the only thing I've seen him play with has been a pen cap. So I'm like, hell yeah, play with that pen cap, go for it. Yeah. But he's very sweet. He hasn't used his claws at all. The only time I think that he has used his claws, and I think he probably did this because I one night I didn't have like a light on. He probably tried to get some water, and so I woke up to like a tiny, tiny little scratch on my arm. So I think he just couldn't find his way out of the sheets. Um, but that's as much damage as he's inflicted. Um, Even when his prior family was trying to get him into the crate, which he was very not happy about. He didn't use his claws. He It was difficult to get him in there, and he did pee on himself, which was so like it was so sad. I was like, we're torturing this cat. Oh my god. But yeah, I just like I want to be like I try to like give him. This is the second time where I've like actually had like literally like put my fingers in his mouth like that, open his mouth up, and just like put a little bit of food in there, like just be like, this food is safe. You are safe to eat it. Please, please eat. But I try not to do it to a point of like traumatizing him. I try to just do it like, hey, look, it's safe. You can come over here and eat this yourself now. Yeah, my previous cat had pica and had certain textural things that he would eat. Luckily, yarn was not one of them. Although there was one yarn, Lion Brand Stitch Soak Scrub, because my cat's pica was very like mesh based, and that is a chain spun. I think it's like recycled polyester or something. But that's a very specific texture, and it does have this like mesh like um, feel. Lori, are you on Facebook? I try not to get stuff sent to my email just because stuff. I get a lot of emails, y'all. I get a lot of emails. I try not to get emails if I can avoid them, if I'm being honest. If you do have a Facebook, there is a Facebook group. Yeah. Yeah, my cat will literally try to eat that yarn. Uh, yes, but I didn't have a channel outage yet. Oh, okay. No, that's cool. So I'm gonna type this out for you. So, so the group on Facebook is called Army of Weirdos. I am on Instagram, so I've my personal one. Wait, let me check. I haven't shared my Instagram name in a long time. I'm like, I don't remember what my Instagram name is. I think it's Ian is weird, separated by periods, but yep. And then if you also want to follow my makeup page, you can follow it there. And then so that's a good place to just like share whatever. And like what I try to do, like if anything's coming up, and I encourage like everyone in the group to do the same. It's not just like my group that I share things to other people with, but sharing things with other people, like free patterns, things we find, things we think are cool, whatever. And then okay. Yeah, and then I have a new uh channel as well, where I've started to do things more about like makeup education and techniques and different things I like to do, but also just like having fun and talking about um, So the name is like, the name might seem stupid. There's, in my head, I built up this whole thing about the makeup, about the name for my makeup channel. So if you're like, I don't get it, just don't disregard that. Um, but yeah, so that is my makeup channel, and that's really new, and I'm working on adding stuff to that. I should have a video going. I'm gonna try to put up one tomorrow of a clown look that I did. And then I have two tutorials where I go like super in depth um, on thing. So I have an eyebrow tutorial and a blush tutorial. They're like 30 or 45 minutes. Like they're long as shit. And then I have like some shorts on like skincare and things like that. But I really like empowering people to do their own makeup. Um, and um, also just having fun doing my own makeup. So, uh, and doing other people's makeup. So all of that is all up over there. But yep, that's all the fun stuff I'm doing lately. One of the things that I did post in Army of Weirdos, which is the group for this channel, is wallets, because I saw a wallet that I really I saw one of the wallets that they had, I think, for the cover picture, was like, ooh, that's super cool, and that would be perfect for Pride. I think it was like a wrist wallet, so that people, it would be like hands free, and it would be good for it not being stolen if you know are in a place where things get stolen a lot. Um, So I thought that was really cool, but it had a bunch of different types of wallets. So I thought that would be really cool to have for like a Pride festival, or something like that. Um, because trying to find it for people who do festivals, I feel like trying to find unique items to make is always a little challenging. Um, Something that you can make fairly quickly, sell for a good profit, and is pretty unique. And you found the Facebook and requested. That'll be my whole name. Okay. Yep. Gotcha. Boom. You're in. You're in. Yeah, when I saw that there was another army of weirdos after I'd made this page, I was like, screw you. Screw you. You can't have this name. This is my name. But I didn't want it to be about me. Like, that's the thing. Like, even though like Ian as a weirdo is like my page name or my channel name or whatever. Like I just wanted it to be like where we could all just let's just talk and hang out. So that's been my big thing. It wasn't about being about um like me in particular. Like I didn't want it to be like a fan page for me, because that would be, in my professional opinion, just really ridiculous. But not for other people to do it for themselves, but um, just for me to do for me. So I already, I've already woven in the end of the magic ring on the at the start. So I just need to weave in the end here, and then I crocheted over the ends when I switched schemes. So Luckily, there's not much sewing, although really, I don't hate sewing that much. Like I don't like it enough to want to do like a granny square blanket or anything, and I also don't really like granny squares. Um, but but I like don't mind doing it as I go or doing it all at the end. I find it very like somehow like very tranquil um, to have it all kind of wrapped up there at the end, looking all pretty. I am going to be working on a very big project, and I'm going to. I I've been trying to figure out what yarn I want to do with it, and I'm missing like one color. And the thing is, affordable yarn is not easily accessible to me, like to go to in person anymore. Um, so I usually do a double magic. Well, I've started to do a double magic ring, especially on things like when I've done like my last couple like hexagon cardigans and stuff like that. I've been doing a double magic ring. Um, the I only did a single and I sewed it in really tightly for this because there's really no tension at all, like pulling the ring open that would pop the ring itself. So it's not that tight. So I'm not super worried about it. Famous last words. Um, I'm not super worried about it in this particular project. If I think that it could be any problem at all, I will do a double magic ring, no problem at all. I prefer that 1000% over doing like a chain four and chaining into that because I can never get that to pull tightly. And I just like I don't understand how people make that look good. I've seen people like do it and it looks so good and it just never looks good for me. So so yeah, I just did a single. And then for sewing in the end, I'm doing the sewing back and forth and back, so 3 times. Yeah, I do like the double as well, although I do find that when I'm just trying to like get projects out, um, time wise, if it doesn't make sense for me to put in so much effort to do the double, just with like fiddling around with like you know getting this part to pull and then this part to pull, like if it doesn't make sense for me to like put that much effort into it because there's no way that that single is gonna pop, especially once I sew it in really well. I don't usually worry about it too much. Okay, so this is the hat. Okay, so I think this is so cute. Sometimes I feel like it looks like a little bit too skinny and pointy, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. So these are the lesbian pride colors. I always forget. Is this the front or is this the front? Oh, yeah, this is the front. That's why it always looks weird. Ta-da! So I was going to record a pattern making video, and it was going to be something really simple. So it's not like I'm not like keeping it like a super secret right now, because I kind of want some input. So I was thinking about projects for Pride, which I typically start to think about in April. And I wanted to make a pattern for a brick, like a stonewall brick. And so I was either thinking of whether or not I wanted to do it in a rainbow yarn or do it in a brick colored yarn. Um, and then also make options for how you can make it with like softer edges, but do less work. Um, because I've already watched a couple videos on like making like 3D solids and stuff like that. Or if you want to do a little bit more work, use some interfacing and make it like a sturdier thing. So I thought it would be cool to make like a stonewall brick. And it's really just a brick that's about uh, uh, you know um, you know pride or something like that. I wonder now that I'm saying it, because like if you just made it in brick colors, then it would just look like a brick. Like who cares? It's a brick. And then if you did it in all rainbow, it's going to be pretty overwhelming in color. And if you wanted to add interfacing, rainbow cotton is a little challenging to find. I know because I've tried to find all of the rainbow cotton. Um, so, um, but I could do a a brick colored cotton, and then I could do a um is it in Tarja? It's one of like the tapestry styles, and do where it says like pride or something on it. I feel like that would be nice. So it would be clear that it was like for pride. And then it wouldn't matter terribly if people wanted to make it would still clearly be a brick, even if it wasn't like sharp corners and stuff like that. Hmm. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna look at this pattern. Maybe do like the texture of the brick. So the thing is it was a single brick thrown, so the brick stitch just looks like a bunch of like I'm in unless there's a different brick stitch, because I looked up the brick stitch because I was like, what does it look like again? I have it like I looked it up like yesterday, so this is why I'm thinking about it. But it's not about having a bunch of bricks, it's about having a brick. So I was thinking of it being like, okay, yeah, I probably am gonna wrap up here soon. But thank you so much for hanging out with me, and it was good talking to you. And I'm happy you were able to come hang out. I appreciate it, and hopefully I'll be able to catch you on your next live. I'm gonna go as well. So you have a great night, and everyone else have a great night, and I will talk to you later.